Hi guys, it's the Sweet Tea blog where the tea is so sweet because we have all the sugar and celebrity news. And today's Sweet Sugar is about the sweet but street again, Aaliyah. And I promise y'all this is my last Aaliyah video for now because I know y'all thinking I'm probably obsessed with the girl. But y'all know I was an A1 Day One Aaliyah fan, and as you all know, days and weeks ago, Black Ground Records confirmed that her music will now be able to be streamed. But why in the world did it take 20 years? Well, look at this. It says Aaliyah's estate calls out unscrupulous endeavor to release her music, okay? And without naming names, you know, her family had to call some people out, which is pretty much her uncle, Barry Hankerson. Now, soon you can look at my channel, or I'll have the video to click on at the end to see the previous video that I did about her uncle Barry Hankerson, who is over Black Ground Records shady ways, okay? So we'll be able to download music or stream music from the Romeo Must Die soundtrack and her last album, self-titled, which came out in 2001, and the I Care For You and Ultimate Aaliyah compilations. They're going to do a nice rollout for that, okay? And it says, for years, fans, such as myself, have called for the catalog's release, okay? And while the glimmers of hope have come, of course, none of that came into fruition. Well, now we're seeing why. Her family is speaking out, and they're not having it. They're like, look, this is not us. This is totally her uncle. It says here, the estate of Aaliyah Houghton gave its reaction to the most recent news. So basically, like how it was news to us, it was news to them. And they said, we have always been confused as to why there is such a tenacity in causing more pain alongside what we already have to cope with for the rest of our lives. Now, in this 20th year, this unscrupulous endeavor is going on. They pretty much said the word for it is forgiveness. And they said that they desire closure. Ultimately, we desire closure. And it said, in a modicum of peace, so we can facilitate the growth of the Aaliyah Memorial Fund and other creative projects that embody Aaliyah's true essence, which is to inspire strength and positivity, etc., etc. In other words, this is what's happening in short. Her family, her estate, basically is like, they know they're not going to see a dime of the streaming songs. They don't see a dime of her royalties. That's very clear, okay? And you all know to pause this as I'm reading it. They are not going to see, pause it as I'm talking. Anyway, y'all know how I do. So, basically, her family is not going to see a dime. Barry Hankerson is over the royalties. And her family is upset because their desire is for Aaliyah's memorial fund to be elevated and lifted up. Now, I have my opinions about that, but I'm going to share that closer to the end because there's a little more I want to talk about before I say my opinion. But I do feel where her family's coming from because, once again, no one is going to see that money but Black Ground Records, and that money is going all into Barry Hankerson's pocket, Aaliyah's shady uncle. Look at this article from BBC. Aaliyah's music will finally be available to stream. Yes, we are excited about that, but once again, her family has a reason to not be excited. This is the reason why we have not been able to listen to Aaliyah's music on streaming platforms for years. Now, y'all know Aaliyah was out way before anything was streaming. She was hot before that, right? Okay, so again, pause this article while I'm talking. Pause this article while you're looking at the video, because I pretty much want to get to the point that from what Barry Hankerson said, Aaliyah's uncle, which is Aaliyah's mother's brother. Yeah, he's the brother of Aaliyah's mother. All right, cool. So he's the mother of Aaliyah. He's the brother of Aaliyah's mother. And so he said that a long time ago, basically 20 years ago, Aaliyah's mom said that she did not want Aaliyah's music out. I get that. And like he said, it's hard to hear the voice of your child that you had to bury. We all know Aaliyah passed away at 22 years old. She was a daughter and a sister, and she was the boot thing of Damon Dash. And it hit everyone so hard, okay? And of course, Barry Hankerson has decided to release her to a new audience. But, once again, it's a new audience, but again, it's the estate versus Black Ground Records. It's the estate versus Barry Hankerson. Now, for those that don't know, yes, Aaliyah passed away in 2001 at the age of 22 with 8 others in a plane crash. right after, the day after, or the same day of, but basically right after she filmed her Rock the Boat video, which was her last video that she made while she was alive. Very tragic, heartbreaking to the industry, still heartbreaking to this day. So basically, I feel where Aaliyah's family is coming from, especially if they're not going to see a dime. And there's probably more to the story than what Barry Hankerson is making it. And at the same time, y'all may not like what I'm going to say. It's an unpopular opinion, but I'm saying this as a fan, a number one A1 Day 1 fan of Aaliyah, because I love her music and I want to support her. But unfortunately, supporting her music means supporting her shady Uncle Barry Hankerson. But here's the deal. Man, her family doesn't want her music out at all. So a lot of people are blaming Barry Hankerson for the music never ever being heard for a long time or ever again. But the truth is that it's her family that feels that way. And because of their grief, that's why. And I understand that. But the crazy thing is that, what about the fans, man? What about lifting up the legacy that your daughter left? Yes, Aaliyah was about so many positive things, but she also was about that music. That's what we know her for. Her music, her soft, sensual voice, and her dance. And as it says here, the singer sold 14 million albums in the U.S. alone. And the turning point came last August on the 19th anniversary of Aaliyah's death. Okay? So basically, once again, the family's same statement. And I have no doubt that the reason why we couldn't stream Aaliyah's music for years was because of the back and forth. There had to be. Like I said, Barry Hankerson is like, oh, my sister says she doesn't want her music out. I believe that, yeah, she probably said that, but come on now, if you're not going to give her part of her daughter's estate, her royalties from her music, now she don't want the music out. She cannot see the fruits of her daughter's labor because you're being selfish, Barry Hankerson. So that's why they're saying unscrupulous endeavor. And it's unfortunate, it's sad, because Aaliyah put out some real good music, like real good R&B. And that's why, in spite of what her family may want, and I might be guilty of it, Aaliyah's music is going to get streamed like crazy, whether her family likes it or not, and her uncle knows that. And I will say this again, look at my previous video about Normani and Aaliyah. I honestly think that because he claimed that Normani sampled 1 in a Million, I think that Barry Hankerson was like, look, well, since people are sampling Aaliyah and it has been 20 years, let me just go ahead and roll out her music because he want all the money. Now, this was something interesting I saw on Instagram. You may have to pause it. But basically, like I said, this music coming out is not her estate. It's Barry Hankerson. Shout out to Talk to Pops. And yes, you can pre-order it on iTunes. So do whatever you feel like doing, people. Now, check this out. On IG Live, catch me at Sweet Tea the Blog. On IG Live, September 9th at 8 o'clock, we will be going live. So check us out. Thank you for tuning in to the Sweet Tea Blog, where the tea is so sweet.